15 to 20 Clay credits for an email. Probably 80% of your numbers are going to be inaccurate. This actually costs you 1 credit, and there's really no need for it. It's actually free, and it's free. That is free. That's free. And this is free, and it's also unlimited. Hey, how's it going, guys? Jacob from Sculpted here. Today we're doing another Clay table teardown, a series where I audit your Clay table submissions to find tons of wasted credits, wasted spend in Clay, optimize a table to do the same thing for a lot less. If you're interested in me auditing your Clay table to find areas of opportunity to save money, save Clay credits, and do a better job with your Clay spend, comment down below and I will personally review your table, send you a loom showing you all the areas where you can save a ton of money. And if you're okay with it, even post an anonymous video going through the Clay table like this. You can be featured on my channel, on my LinkedIn. It's totally free. I usually can save you 80 to 90% of your Clay credits. It's usually a massive saving, especially if you're enriching a large data set that could be thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars in savings for free. Comment down below, and within 10 minutes, I'll be able to save you a ton of money. Cheers. Today's video, really simple Clay workflow, 3 really big mistakes, really common mistakes where you can save a lot of money. Let's dive into it right now. Okay, so the first mistake in this video is going to be on finding people using the find people enrichment versus using the find people action. This actually costs you 1 credit, and there's really no need for it. It's actually free to do it the way I'm going to show you. Basically, the idea here is we want to find how many people work at a company based on certain job title keywords. So maybe how many people are in marketing, how many people are in sales. In this case, we're looking for different marketing related keywords, and then the table will fall back to sales related keywords if we can't find one. But you can see here, this is 1 credit per row, and we only found 11 people, and those people, I will say, are enriched here. So you are paying 1 credit, but you are getting enriched profiles. However, this is going to cap out at up to 10 profiles anyway. And generally speaking, especially if you're just going for headcount over here, this is not necessary. Most people are not using this information. So you're really wasting a credit in this case. So instead, what you can do is use a series of find people over here. And then you can use a look up multiple rows integration, which is also free, to pull back the number of people you found back into this table to get a total headcount of how many folks you found with that job title. So here's how it works. In your Clay table, go to actions and then click on find people at these companies. And you're going to see pretty much the same filters you're allowed to search with in the find people integration. Maybe there's a few that are missing, but generally speaking, you can search by job title or exclude by location, keywords in bio and whatnot. And you can search for all the folks at a specific company using these filters. And this is free, and it's also unlimited. Based on your plan, you can go up to 50,000 people per search per company. Or sorry, just in general. It's way more than you're going to get with the limit of the integration in Clay, and it's free no matter how many profiles you find. So this is then going to be pushed into this Clay table over here. So you can see here we found 14 people, and all you're going to get is their name, their job title, and their company domain, and their LinkedIn profile URL. So if you're finding some false positives here and you want to filter this out, you can and create a filter view. Or in this case, I just want to know how many people work at this company in marketing. So the way we did that in our table that is free is like this. Essentially, once we have this complete, this search complete, we're going to go to add enrichment and search for lookup multiple rows. And this is going to return a function that allows us to, first of all, select the Clay account we're going to be searching in. I already did this, so I'm going to open up mine. You can see here, we selected the Immuta find people table, which is right over here, this table right here. We are searching for the target column company domain, which is going to be this column right here. And then we are using the contains operator, and we're passing in a normalized domain from our list. So make sure that you have normalized your domain just to the root right here. And then what's going to happen is this is going to look for all of the rows in this table that have the same domain, which essentially means every single person you found at this company is going to be a match because every single person at the company has the same domain. So you're just doing a lookup from the account level to the contact level and then aggregating that back here. And you can see, first of all, you have this number 14. So you can just pull this out into its own column if you wish. So you know that there's 14 marketing people that work at Immuta, at least that we found here. So I could say marketing headcount, that's free. And then we can also just pull in at least this information here. So if you wanted to pull any information about the person on the company level, you could do that here and further enrich with LinkedIn URLs. Although I wouldn't recommend doing contact enrichments in your company table unless you have a specific reason to. But that's the first tip. That's free. That saves you 1 credit. Moving on to the next area. So the next one's going to be finding emails. This is one that we've spotted in the last few Clay table teardowns. I think everyone pretty much makes this mistake because Clay recommends this by default. So first of all, if you do quick setup, this is going to do it for you. And even if you go to full configuration, down here at the bottom, the validation provider is going to default to 0 balance with 1 Clay credit. The problem with this is there's 3 types of statuses for email outputs. You have catch-all, you have valid and invalid. So valid, it means the email is correct and deliverable. Invalid means it's going to bounce. It's an incorrect address. Catch-all is a status that especially large companies use a lot that does not allow SMTP verification to really give you an accurate response. That's the way that most of these validation providers are going to do it. It just sends a status code over and returns something back. Catch-all means we can't tell you yes or no. The email provider will just accept all emails from that address. The problem is sometimes you're going to actually bounce, right? And in this case, the default as well in this setup, which is pretty wild, is also to only mark safe to send emails as valid, is usually, I believe, toggled on by default, which means that at the end of this waterfall over here, the actual output email is not going to show up here unless it finds a valid email. And so for a domain or a company that has a catch-all setting, that's going to be the case across all of their contacts. So what's going to happen is in this waterfall, you're going to have one Clay column run for find email. It's not going to find anything, or it will. Then it will fire off this validate email step. And if it returns catch-all, in this case, it's returning valid. But if this said catch-all, then this would keep firing over and over again, and you'd be paying 2 Clay credits for the email each time and 1 Clay credit for validation. I've seen people spend 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, right, etc., like 15 to 20 Clay credits for an email. Which is pretty crazy, especially if you have all of these providers. That's going to cost you maybe 30 to 40 cents for an email when you could be spending half a penny if you use your own API key, or even just a few cents if you were just to do this properly. The proper setup here is to turn off this setup. So what you would do is you would remove this from your waterfall and hit save. So now it's just going to waterfall providers, and it will just stop when it finds an email. Okay. Then at the end of this, you would create a new column over here that says validate email. And you can use one of your validation providers. I always recommend a provider called BounceBan because they essentially can do catch-all deliverability checks, which means that you can actually figure out if a catch-all email is valid or not, or deliverable or not, which is not possible with the Clay native solutions. And the pricing, even if you just do one-off, which is a bit more expensive, if you get 100,000 credits, you're spending per record about a quarter of a penny. Versus in Clay, you're going to spend about 1.6 cents. So it's about a 6x savings on the validation step right there. And you can validate emails you could not validate with Clay. So that's a big one. Really easy savings right here. Highly recommend doing this. The last part of this process where there is an issue is also going to be on the mobile validation step. So we have all of these mobile providers here, and by default, we have this validation provider clear out phone. So clear out phone, mobile validation sounds good. And on the service level, it actually is very important to validate mobiles, because if you're not validating mobiles with something like SureConnect, you're going to get probably 80% of your numbers are going to be inaccurate. I've tested this across tons of providers in Clay and out of Clay using Apollo, etc. The average mobile vendor gives you 17% accurate mobiles. That means your sales team is spending 4/5 of their time on inaccurate, incorrect numbers. That's not good. And the way to solve that is using SureConnect. This provider will actually validate your mobiles for you by calling them ahead of time to see if they're actually correct. And they can tell you if it's the right person, the right number, even do they answer the number, are they likely to pick up? And then your sales team can dial or power dial with Nooks or something like that, a pre-validated mobile number list, which is way more effective. And in today's day and age where mobiles are hard to come by, pickup rates are sparse, it's really, really important to maximize your sales team's time. And although the pricing per number is much higher than just using Clay, the hidden costs are tremendous in Clay to do the other route, right? The opportunity cost, even just the wasted salary of your sales team's time on the wrong numbers, not to mention the opportunity cost of what could be done. If you're interested in understanding how much extra money you can save / make by validating your numbers, it's pretty awesome. And if you're interested, comment and I can run through the calculations with you. But generally speaking, it's a really good idea to do this. However, Clay's provider here doesn't actually do that. They just look at the format of the number and make sure it's a standard format. So you're paying 1 credit for this. My plan doesn't have it because I'm on a lower plan, but your plan probably will have it, and you're going to spend 1 credit per number to validate, which gets pricey, and I don't think it's worth it. It doesn't really do much, and you're wasting a credit here. So there's 3 ways to save credits. I think if you were to optimize and implement all of these tips, you're going to save between, I don't know, 2 and 20 Clay credits. I mean, the email waterfall one's abysmal. And then the other 2 are just easy hacks to save money in Clay and get a lot more bang for your Clay buck. If you would like me to audit your Clay table, it will take me less than 10 minutes to find mistakes like this. I'm sure I can find plenty of them and really turn your Clay workflows around, make them much more efficient. So if you're interested, if you're on YouTube, click the link down below in the description. And if you're on LinkedIn, you can comment on this post and or go to my LinkedIn profile where I have a link to submit your Clay table in a type form, really simple, and then I can audit it for you and even make a video like this if you wish. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.